liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stormy the road we trod, bitter the chasing run, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat and a weary feet, come to the place for which our parents sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading a path through the blood of the Zion. Now from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is fast. While the weary years taught of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us the star. Thou who hast by thy mind led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places of God when we met thee. Lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world we forget thee. Shadow me with thy hand, may we forever stand. True to our God, true to our native land.
Hello, everybody. Everybody, hello. I took myself off of the screen and let me see if I can get us back up here after I have done sharing that. Hopefully this works. Nope. There it is.
There we go.
Hello, and I played that song for a very special group of low-key Trump supporters that watch this show. Happy Black History Month, all month from February the 1st to February the 28th. But of course, every day is Black History as far as I'm concerned. Thank you all for joining in. I am back after taking a long, extended, well-deserved break from December the 18th until today. It's been a minute. The Tracy Show is back, interviewing third-party candidates because the two-party system makes me sick. I cannot anymore. I don't like them. They don't like me, and that is good. So before I let my two guests introduce themselves, first of all, subscribe to this channel. We are literally 6 away from 400. We should have been 1,000 by now. But if you could hit that subscribe button, thank you very, very much for doing that. And I don't know which one of you ladies wants to go first to introduce yourself, but either one of you can go first.
Well, I guess I can go first. Hi, good
Oh,
evening. My name is.
Griselda's muted.
Oh,
Oh, I can hear her.
you can hear
Oh,
me?
I can't.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't see the mute button on mine. My name is Griselda Romero, and I am running for governor here for the Green Party as a candidate. And I currently do live in DuPage County, and I have here my lieutenant governor who will introduce herself next. Can you hear me?
Edie, are
Hello?
you there?
I
Can you hear
can't
me?
hear Griselda for some reason.
Oh,
I don't know why, but yes, I'm here. And thank you for inviting us, Tracy. Much appreciated. Good to see you after all this time. And happy to be here. I'm very happy to introduce you to or yeah, we're running mates. The candidate for Illinois governor going up against Mr. Pritzker. So
oh, he's running for re-election.
for
Yes.
now,
My plug fell out here, so I want to check something really, really quick.
yeah,
To
maybe I can.
see if I am live right now. Am I live? Yep, I am live. So everybody out there, put your questions in the comment section. I'll have the ladies talk about their website um, here in just a moment. And I'm gonna have you pronounce your name one more time so I can make sure that I get it right.
Griselda?
Griselda,
Yes.
I got it right. Okay, good. Okay. So um I always like to start. I'm not used to interviewing two people. So guys, pardon me, but not used to interviewing two people. So I'm gonna start at a strange place. And it's gonna sound strange, and I'm starting off talking about the 2024 election because we're hearing a lot of people say now, if you had just voted the right way, we wouldn't be going through what we're going through right now. And I think what they mean is if we had voted for Harris, we wouldn't be going through this right now. And my contention is we would be going through very similar things, and there's really no difference. Talk about why people seem to think that the Democratic Party is going to save them from what's going on.
Personally, I think a lot of it has to do with conditioning for so long. It's just a role that the Democrats have played throughout the years. Um, oh, sorry, I'm hearing an echo. um, and for so long, Democrats have convinced the public that they are the safe option. They are the option to go with, right? They are the most democratic compared to the Republicans. So it's always been viewed as or displayed as like the good cop, bad cop. And but one thing is that I've noticed and realized that for a very long time, many really don't question the actions of the Democratic Party, right? And it's 2026, and there's still a lot of issues that we're dealing with that had still been an issue in the past. It still is a recurring issue today, and it's like, why aren't we questioning these things, right? Like when it comes to, for example, when it Roe versus Wade, that's been a long that's been an issue for a very long time, but there was many opportunities for it to be codified, but it was not. The question is why it wasn't that, right? It's been used, in my opinion, kind of like a breadcrumb or like a carrot on a string, right? To gather votes. And that's what's been going on throughout the years. A lot of our privileges, our rights are being presented to us as kind of like this luxury thing, like we can only get it only if we vote for the Democratic Party. But then it's like we get fed a little bit, but not too much. And it's like a lot of these things get taken away or repealed if it's by Republicans or some Democrats don't go for it. And then again, it's like this taunting of back and forward, like you guys will have a better life or society will be better if you vote for us. But I'm like, that's not actually the case, right? When it comes to the bipartisan agreements, look at what's going on with ICE. Both of them fund them, right? So
I'm so glad you said that, and I'm going to get to my first why are you running question. But I wanted to get to that because I keep hearing this, and I'm like, you do realize that Harris proposed funding ICE. You do know that ICE has existed since George W. Bush. So from George W. Bush down to Donald Trump, ICE has never been off of the table. Did you realize we had Democratic presidents in between there, or did you just choose to ignore this? And it seems as though, especially with this midterm, people just seem to think the Democratic Party is coming to save them, and they are not. They are not coming to save you. They don't like you. And if you ask for things like I asked for Medicare for all, forgiveness of student loan debt, no more funding for Israel or Ukraine wars, I want too much. Well, guilty. I'm guilty. I guess you called me out. You're guilty. But I definitely want to get into your campaigns. So I want to get this question to Eyde because I remember specifically asking Eyde this question before. I remember asking you, why didn't you run for office? And I was like, why don't you run for office? Because you were talking about what's going on in Illinois. I'm like, well, shouldn't you run? And you didn't take it off the table. But what made you finally decide, you know what, this is it? And did you want to run for lieutenant governor? Or was that just, oh, you do that? Okay, so you're shaking your head, yes.
Yes, I'm going to be doing the organizing anyway, and the party asked me, and we'd been searching for candidates to run on our statewide petition, because we're allowed to have 7 candidates on the same petition for statewide. So looking at this 25 to 50,000 signature hurdle, the more candidates we have, the better. I did not want to take the top spot. That's not me. I love to do organizing behind the scenes and help set things up and, like, be in the Zoom or whatever, but not necessarily like being in front of people. I'm getting better, but and that, me saying yes, the chair of the party asked me to run, and me saying yes hopefully encouraged Griselda to say yes too.
And just so you guys know, they're running in the state of Illinois, which means they're my next door neighbors. I live in Indiana, just so you all know. Talk about, and this question might be for Priscilla, because I know the governor. I am not going to make any stabs at his appearance. I don't do that. That's going low. That's lowbrow. But to me, it seems like and our governor is terrible. No one will ever convince me that Mike Braun is not the worst governor in the United States. He wins hands down. He's got it on lock. He's the winner chicken. He's got it. Nobody can beat him. What makes Governor Pritzker, I hope I pronounced his name right, so unqualified to run for office? Because he always, like when he was at the DNC convention, he bragged about being a billionaire, which I don't know why that's a flex, but he did, and said like he was one of the good billionaires. First of all, I didn't know billionaires could be good, but hey, that's just me. What is it about him that you said, no, it's time for this guy to go and be gone?
Well, I don't think it's just mainly him, but mainly just the Democratic Party in general. But I mean, specifically him, especially with everything that's been unfolding for the past couple years now, just noticing his response, right? Anybody can say the right words or give, mildly good speeches, but it doesn't mean anything if there isn't any action behind it. Another thing is that he has been associated with AIPAC in Israel, and his administration has also been funding Israel with Israel bonds for maybe 20 plus years, I believe. And with our new treasurer that's in there now, Mike Farrer, I'm not sure if I can pronounce his last name right, but he had, was in office by 2015, and then by 2017, he had increased the Israeli bonds, the investments, by 50%. So we we still have a lot of issues here in the state that much is not being fixed. There's certain things here and there that are being mentioned and that are being resolved, but it's like, you know, I just question, really, does he actually care? I don't care if he's a good billionaire. It's just the fact that you're a billionaire, period. Like, and no one's, the average person is not going to relate to you being a billionaire. We're not all billionaires. You know, we're more closer to being poor than we are billionaires to begin with. Um, Another thing is that what I also question, what I look at is just the presentation as well when it comes to his running mates. He does have Juliana Stratton, who's his lieutenant governor, and then his new lieutenant governor is also a black male. I forgot his name, but you know, things like that. I question. It's like, if, you know, what is the message that you're trying to convey and share with the public, especially with the black and brown community, right? You're investing in Israeli bonds that's killing people of color in Israel, and supporting not only just a genocide but colonization. What message are you sending to the people of color in your state? You have a black female lieutenant, um, you know, you know, that works with you, but yet we have many food deserts that exist in predominantly black neighborhoods in the city of Chicago. So it's like, this is now your third time running. What exactly have you actually done? What is the message that you're trying to convey? Because to me, you don't actually care about people of color or black folks at all, right? So that's just all performative, in my opinion, right? Um, and just, there's just so many problems that just has not been fixed. We could easily have Medicare for all, but we actually don't. And I don't see any efforts ever going to go into something like that. So it's not just necessarily just him. It's just more so just the Democratic Party in general. They it's all these empty promises. They just keep giving all these promises. We're going to do this. We're going to do that, and they actually don't. It's just to garner votes. They don't, I don't think they actually care about humanity. I think that they do work with the Republicans. They also claim that there is a democracy. They are not democratic whatsoever, for the simple fact that when it comes to independents and third parties, like Edie had mentioned, the votes that, I mean, the signatures that one has to gather just to even get on the ballot is way more than what Democratic and the Republicans actually have to get. That's gatekeeping. Okay, if we weren't such a threat, that threshold should not even exist in the first place. If you believe in democracy, that threshold shouldn't exist in the first place, but it does. That's gatekeeping. So that makes it a lot more difficult or challenging for any underdog that wants to come in and try to make a difference in not only just their communities, but also in the state itself, to come in with a different perspective and new ideas to help improve the state in general. See, I'm looking to have every part of the state, right? Not just certain regions, to thrive, right? But here we have only certain populations that thrive. Primarily, it's either certain parts of Chicago or certain affluent parts of different suburbs in the state, which is not okay. I think that that's not equity, that's not inclusive. Everyone should have access to all resources and Medicare and everything, basically everything they should all have access to, right? And I don't think that he does a good job at doing it. I don't think he actually cares about that. I really do believe he's all talk when it comes to that. So again, it's not just him. It's something that I notice with all Democrats and anyone that supports Israel whatsoever. You don't care about humanity. That's violence against people and colonization. No politician should ever, if they care about any kind of human being, should ever be supporting something like that. So if the fact that he supports that and his administration does, that tells me you don't care about the people in your state. Don't tell me that you do, because you actually don't. And if I didn't see the DNC convention, all of it through, even though I was there for some of it, but if he was bragging, in fact, about being a billionaire, that speaks volumes to him and what he cares about and what he thinks that people are actually looking at. Like I said, a lot of us, the average Joe, we're not going to be able to relate to him being a billionaire. We're not billionaires. A lot of us struggle. We don't make enough to make ends meet. And there's a lot of homelessness that's been increasing. The mental health issue has grown increasingly as well. So I don't really see him doing anything other than just giving speeches and just constantly blaming Trump, especially with the issue with ICE. Look at what Trump's doing. Look what Trump's doing. We need to, sign this petition or whatever so we can sue him. Sue him for what? What is that going to do? Because this is a lawless government. They don't even follow the law. So what are you going to do? I've been on the ground and been, protesting, especially at the Broadview detention center, and been gassed, tear gas, right? I go to these protests at times and protest with Palestine. I don't see him. The only time I saw him marching was at the Pride Parade. He didn't know I was there. I was all the way at the back holding that big flag, the Palestinian flag, with my fist up. I was right all the way behind him, all the way towards that. That was me. So I don't see
But
him.
you're taking away his votes. See, those votes, this is, I get so tired of hearing this. But you're taking away his votes because if a vote for you is a vote for the Republican, I mean, it has to work like that. All the votes belong to him. They're his. He doesn't have to earn them, do anything for them, make any kind of sign any type of legislation, just because.
And
Just because.
I often hear that a lot, and it makes me just I just want people to actually question that. Like, it's not taken about, first of all, every individual has a right to vote the way that they'd like to. Okay, we shouldn't have to be forced to vote the way any other person should vote. That's the whole point of being democratic and having that free will, right? That liberty to vote for who you'd like, right? So no one's going to guilt trip me just because I'm trying to vote for someone that holds the same values, that actually cares, that actually wants to do something for the communities and improve the state, versus I'm going to vote for someone that hinders my livelihood, that's hurting my brothers and sisters in other countries, right? And doesn't actually care and it's going to do anything, but just because it's going to make you safe and secure your comfort. I'm not going to do that, right? And so people are, it's just this entitlement of like, you have to vote for him because it's going to make things better for the rest of us. No, but what about the rest of us? It's just this, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not fair. And people keep
Right.
forgetting we have the right to vote for who we want. We don't have to vote for who you want. We have the right to vote for who we want. And I'm not going to sit here and vote for someone just to secure your safety and your resources while we get stuck in a rut with nothing.
Hello, Marlon. So now I want to move into um it's gonna because
Oh, I
I
had
live in East.
something to add if
Oh,
I could. If
go
I
ahead.
could.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. I don't want to
So
call you ma'am. Yeah, girl. Like, go, girl.
go, girl. Butch says that the Greens took more votes away from Republicans than they did Democrats. And then you have to think about almost half the country now calls themselves an independent. And on top of that, in the state of Illinois and in several states across the country, the biggest section of the registered voters was the people who did not vote at all, because the Republicans and the Democrats didn't give them anything to vote for. And this is our window. This is our chance. The situation has never been more dire, but the opportunity has never been greater, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I want to start talking about some challenges of third parties face. Again, I did warn Edie, don't come on here, and I'm warning everybody in the comments. I will not run for office. Do not ask it. Do not put it in the comment section. I don't want to do it because I have several problems. I have this thing called a mouth, and I am not willing to backtrack. I know I'm going to offend somebody. Here comes I already talked about, what made you run for the office. But now I want to talk about when you told your families, because I come from a strongly rooted Democratic family. And when I said, I'm not voting for Harris, I'm going to I voted for Dr. Cornel West. That's who I voted for. The questions I got, the looks like you're selling the Black community out. I didn't know I was doing that by voting for somebody Black. That that aside, how did your friends and your family react to your candidacy? Are they volunteering? Are they just like, don't talk to us? We don't know you. How is it that you're being treated by those close family friends?
Personally, I think I didn't really get much of a response. My family's not very, like, we don't really talk about politics much. I'm only close really more to my mom's side of the family, not so much my dad. It's very distant. It's been like that for years. So I've only told a few people in my mom's side. A lot of my family, they live out of state, so I don't really have a lot of contact with them. So it's just a few that live here. But I have one that's very supportive, and I mean, and I have a best friend that's very supportive. Other than that, I do what I want. So as long as I have the right people that support me, and I have a really group of people within the Green Party that support me, that's all that matters.
Edie, what about you?
Well, my mom's passed. My son lives with me. He's not interested in politics. Um, my dad lives in Indiana, Southern Indiana, and he voted for Trump mostly because of the pressure of the community he lives in, I believe. I've been working on him for years, and now we've just kind of come to kind of like he's proud of me for standing up. He's proud of me for doing a big thing, but we don't really talk about it much. He mostly worries about my safety. Like because we were just planning yesterday, and we kind of finalized some stuff today. We're going to do a library in Chicago on the 25th, the first day of petitioning. And I told my dad, I said, well, I'm going to go do an interview. He goes, be careful. And I go, no, it's in my house, because he's 81. I said, but I will be leaving, pretty soon. He goes, somebody going with you? I'm like, no, Dad, but I'll be fine. I'm meeting people. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. But my friends and my community are excited.
That's great. And the reason I talk about that is because I believe all third-party candidates, here comes the hypocrisy part. I'm saying I don't want to run, but I'm like, this is the perfect time to run. Because I think there's not going to be a time where you find Democratic voters mad at the Democratic Party, and you find Republican voters mad at the Republican Party. Like, they're both mad at their party, and this is like the perfect time. And what I want to start talking about is platforms. What are your top 3 things that you definitely, like, day one, when I become governor or lieutenant governor, this is what I'm going to do?
Definitely, it's going to be divesting from the Israeli bonds, making sure that that's number one right there, and working on the immigration reform, especially that as well, to help support the migrant communities here. I know that there's a lot of talk with migrants coming here and stealing jobs, and it's like, the truth of the matter is, it's that our government, mostly federal, really has done a lot of damage to other countries, especially in the global south, by destabilization, hence why that the migration has increased throughout the years or decades to the United States. That's the problem. And then two, they're not stealing our jobs. Corporations are actually willing to pay them for a lesser price than they are American citizens. So it's like this is why I say that the government, both Democrats and Republicans, play good cop and bad cop, because they like to scapegoat these problems and try to paint it as, oh, they're the ones who are stealing your jobs. No, it's these corporations, and you guys know very well that they're the ones doing this. But yet they're not getting called out for it or being held accountable for it, right? So it's getting everybody to, it's this divide and conquer tactic, right? Getting everybody to fight one another and not really pay attention to exactly what they're doing. It's a tactic that they have. So definitely immigration reform, divestment from the Israel bonds, and then also addressing the housing issue. We do have an increase in homelessness as well. Trying to make sure that everyone has adequate housing, and making sure that they have somewhere to actually live. So those are kind of like the top 3s for me right now. I feel like those are major crises, because the funding that's being used for Israeli bonds can actually be utilized for something else to help the constituents here in the state. So being able to transfer that money would be best to help facilitate a need in a different department.
Edie, what about you? Now, I know you be lieutenant governor, but
Well, I mean,
in case Priscilla can't do it, then you would have to step up. So
Griselda can do whatever she sets her mind to, but everybody's got their pet projects, right? So I've kind of gotten in touch with like the farming folks. What is the group that I'm with? Illinois Stewardship Alliance. They're trying to pass legislation to make healthier food and like that. So there's committees that I'm going to be on. But my pet thing has been since I don't know when. Besides, divesting, we have somebody running for state treasurer. That's going to be her number one issue as well. Is healthcare. The big whatever bill kicked people off, made it harder. They're trying to further just remove people's care. And there is a bill in Illinois that's been sitting there in committee for a year now that would give us universal health care. So it's like the number one bankruptcy in the state. It's like two-thirds of the bankruptcies that get filed. And it's the main reason. And, you know, people are spending at least $400 a month on their insurance, but we can provide it. And we just have to crunch the numbers.
I want to also start talking about this issue because I hear it all the time. Um, in Indiana, we pick our lieutenant governors. We don't select them separately. In other words, they're a ticket. Are you guys like the same? It'll be um your names as one ticket, and
Yeah.
then okay, so it's not separate. Okay, got it. So here is my next question then. So when have you did any pre-campaigning, or you're just waiting until the petition portion starts?
I mean, we're going around and trying to make ourselves known as best that we can. We are already organizing a listening tour, and we also have, I think Edie mentioned in the beginning that there's going to be a Medicare for All like forum happening at the end of this month, around the 22nd. It's going to be in Lake County. Um, so we'll be meeting with other candidates that are also running for different positions in office. So we're doing that, like I said, and then we're doing a listening tour where we were scheduling and starting to book different libraries throughout the entire state. So we can go around and meet with different people in different regions just to listen to what they have to say, what their concerns are, and what they want, and also give them an opportunity to get to know us and just be able to answer some questions, right? Like a nice little meet and greet at the same time, but mostly wanting to hold space for them to share their concerns and just give them a voice and let them be heard at that moment.
Right. And how many? Because I know Edie told me this. Thank you for telling me that in Illinois you need 25,000 signatures to get on the ballot, but you said 50. How successful have you been in recruiting those type of people? And if is there a website where people can go to sign up to volunteer? Does one have to live in the state of Illinois to do that? Kind of give us, I know the answer to this, but give our audience some kind of idea about what it is that you're looking, like how many volunteers you think you need. Um, because Illinois has what, 10 million people? No, Illinois doesn't have that many people. Because everybody like basically lives in Chicago, right? In terms of Illinois. They don't? See, I thought everybody lived in Chicago. I'm telling you, I don't know. But I'm figuring how many, tell us how many volunteers you need, what it is that you're needing them to do, is there any type of training, just like an overall idea about what it is that you're looking for and those type of things.
Did you want me to take this, Griselda? Because that's kind of
Yes,
my what I've been
that's
working
really
on.
alley
She's
there.
I still can't hear her. That's why I've been kind of listening to my phone. So if there's a delay, I don't know why. But Illinois has 12.8 million people. I just looked it up. I knew it was like 11, 12 million. The biggest portion of them do live in Chicago, but it's a very long state. It's kind of like as long as Indiana is. And I think we've had about 60 people sign up so far. We're looking for 100. We're having a big meeting tonight that's kind of at the same time as Jill. So yeah, thanks for putting that up. And do petition training from some veteran petitioners that teaches us how to like crank those numbers. This is not the time for debate. This is not the time to like argue with people. You just want to know, are you a registered voter in Illinois? And when they say yes, you go, should a new party have the right to be on the ballot? Sign here. Just make it that simple. 7 seconds. That's kind of our goal. And if you go to ilgp.org, I can put the pledge to collect signatures. And no, you do not have to live in the state to collect. You only have to live in the state to sign. So I'll put this in the chat so you can share it to your audience.
Yep,
I did it already.
The link. You
I
did
put
it
in there already.
You did, and I just got to put it up here. There it is right there. So if you're in a state like I am, Indiana, that's right next door, now I may need some assistance because I can't drive. I cannot drive. I cannot drive. So I'll have to figure out how to do this, but I definitely am interested because I don't want to promise. I don't want to make any promises, but I just had to figure out how I'm going to get there because I know me driving 3 hours, that just, let's see, I'm 3 hours away from Chicago. That's probably the nearest city to me
Hmm.
that I know. I know there's other cities in Illinois, but at least I can go there and say, hey, I'm interested and sign up for the training. And I want everybody that says, oh, third parties can't win. You know why third parties can't win? Because you don't do anything. You don't vote for third party candidates. You know the Democrats and Republicans don't like you. I keep saying it. They don't like you. They don't care about you. Stop giving them elections. And if you don't vote, if you didn't vote this last time, or last time Illinois had elections, consider this campaign. You consider saying, I don't have to vote for people that are funding genocide. I don't have to vote for a party that cuts Medicaid because both parties have cut health care. Everybody seems to, they talk about Trump and how many people he's thrown off of Medicaid. I threw people off of Medicaid. So keep that in mind. But again, go there and I promise I'll go to the site, but I just kind of got to look at my schedule and see what I can do. I definitely want to go to a training because I need it. I need it. So that is what I will do. I will definitely look into it. And I want everybody else to look into it also. And here's another thing you can do. Now I'm going to get to the real nitty gritty. If you live in Ohio, Georgia, Texas, Florida, New York, California, there's this thing called money. Now we don't really like it. We all want publicly financed elections. Talk about the importance. This is where I think third parties completely miss out. Talk about the importance of raising one, money that's not dictated by big donors, what that money is used for, and how you actually need it to make your campaign successful. Either one of you can take that question.
Go ahead, Griselda.
Um, thanks. I mean, it's going to support the campaign for us to be able to, afford like flyers, signs, the resources that we need, right, to pass out to folks while we're on the ground, doing meet and greets, so that way they can have something on hand and tangible, or even just to like pay for like when we book. If we have to pay for certain places to book for meetings, right, to host discussions or forums with other candidates or within the community, or travel expenses, right? Personally, this might seem very unorthodox, but I mean, if I don't get to raise much, that's fine with me. I'm personally trying to do my best to just put myself out there and use the internet, which is, I'm already paying for as it is, but just to be able to put myself out there and be known, right? So, I mean, if people are able to donate, that's fine. If people can't, that's fine too. My goal is just for people to truly get to know who I am, and what I actually stand for, and just see the humanity in me, and to understand that when they do provide funding to us, or when they do donate to our campaign, it's strictly just for I'm sorry, it's strictly for us to be able to serve the communities in that sense, right? We're not going to be taking any corporate PAC money whatsoever, any APAC money, because for me, what I believe is when Democrats and Republicans do something like that, that actually defeats the integrity of their ability to actually serve the public honestly. And also when they have that funding from lobbyists and corporate, donations, their loyalty and responsibility is now to them, not to the people, right? So it's kind of like a scratch your back kind of thing. I call that legal bribery in a sense. So that I don't expect for anyone who takes any kind of corporate PAC money, even if they're not APAC funded, to be loyal to the public to begin with. That undermines the integrity as it is. So the fact that if we get donations from the community, we serve the community. We listen to them and we have to respond to them, right? We work for them. That's how it's supposed to be. So it's not about me being a politician, but more so a public servant because I'm serving them, right? And putting them first and their families first. And that's how it should be. So anyone that were to donate to our campaign, know that it's going to be enough to help us support the campaign so that we can get around and make ourselves known. But also it's going to be, again, used to be able to support the communities in this way and let them know that we are going to be responding to their needs 100%. And I do hope and expect them, because I know no other politician will say what I'm about to say, but I do hope that the community will hold me accountable. I will hold myself accountable because I am someone that does that, but I do also expect the community to also hold me accountable because that's how it should be. And I want to make sure that the public does do that as well, because we are in the state that we are in because of lack of accountability, not only just because from the community towards government officials, but also within the government officials themselves, is they lack accountability, period. It's why they gotten away with so much.
Yep. And Eyde, can you message me your website because I can't find it? I realized I shared one site twice, and I thought I was sharing your site also. So if you could put it in the chat,
Oh,
and I'll just
we're on
put
we're on
it
the
up there.
same one. We're on the same one. I have a page on there because we're running as a team.
I think you shared the volunteer campaign now, was
Sorry,
it?
Griselda, I can't hear you.
Yes, and I was like, no, that's not it.
I had
no,
one for a little while. We're going to redirect to Griselda's because, we're running mates. But I would also say, I think that the new people that we have coming on, like Anthony Aguilar, he's running for U.S. House in North Carolina. He was the guy that was a whistleblower for the Gaza Humanitarian Fund. He exposed what that actually was, which, if anybody's been paying attention, it was basically a trap to kill more Palestinians. And then we also have Greg Stoker, which is famous for Colonial Outcast, and he was on the Samud Flotilla. He's running for Congress in Texas. We have Butch Ware in California, which is polling at 5%. He gained 3 points in a month, and all he has to do is be in the top 2 after the primary, and that doesn't even happen until June. So I think that he's definitely going to be in the top 2, and if they let him on that debate stage, they are in trouble. Katie Porter has a violent temper, and the rest of them support AIPAC. So
all these people you're naming, boy, I'm like, this show is open to you. This platform is open to you. I personally, this show, we go all over the spectrum: green, libertarian, constitutional party. There's a new unicorn party that actually is a real thing. Because again, the Democratic Party, and I'm so hard on the Democrats because if you all don't realize, I used to be in that party. People that look like me vote for them at 90% without question. And it's like, what? You haven't done anything for our community. And I'm specifically talking, yes, this is Black History Month, and I'm going to go there. I don't care. You can hit the unsubscribe button. It doesn't even matter to me. You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything for Black people, the working poor. You haven't done anything. You keep talking about immigration reform, but you pit one community against another community. And I wish, here's my question. I'm going to get to it. What is it going to take, in your opinion, to make people think, this is what's happening, and I need to change the way I vote?
I think a lot of it is actually already happening, in my opinion, with everything that's been unfolding, especially with the unfortunate situation with the Epstein files and people just waking up to the truth and just actually seeing it happen live, and just seeing how both parties have been involved. I think it just takes some time because, like I said again in the beginning when we first started, it's a lot of conditioning for decades that's been happening with both parties and the American public. They convince the American public, the Democrats, that they're the best options, the best choice, they're the safest choice, when really they're just more of a covert oppressive party. and Republicans are more covertly overt violent party, right? So and they tell us that, we have a choice, we can choose either one. Here's the truth of the matter is, and it's just speaking bluntly, like other Green Party member or candidates have been throughout the country, is really just speaking the truth about it, right? Basically, what I'm trying to say is that we don't actually have a choice. They say that we have a choice, but we don't. We just have a red party and the red party and the blue party. Those are the only options. We don't actually have a choice. So it's either you're leaning with one side or you're leaning with the other, and that's it. You technically don't have a choice. You keep voting for the same ones just because it's safer, but it's actually not. You're voting for your oppressor to stay in the same situations that you have been for years, and different communities have yet to progress or move up the mobility scale. We're still seeing the same issues. We're still dealing with inequality, inequity, right? The pay gap is still existing. We still don't have Medicare for all. It's like we need to wake up and look at the issues that we've been battling for years, that they're still an issue today. Why is that? Why is that still an issue today? It doesn't take that many brains to fix this, right? Like you said, we can have Medicare for all, but yet we don't. There's all these excuses, but yet we can fund Israel and we can afford these subsidies so they can have free education, free healthcare, and all these other subsidies that we can afford for them, but we can't for us, while they're also colonizing an entire country and trying to, commit a genocide, or actually are committing a genocide. So we can afford that, but we can't afford to take care of our people here in our own land. Something's
Making
wrong there.
homelessness illegal. Yes, there's
We
a
need to
big
question everything.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's just no, that's okay. I'm glad you said that because it's such a good point. And so you said that you guys were telling me that the petition starts March the
February
first
February.
25th,
February 25th, and it ends what date does it end?
May 26th.
Okay. So then after that, is it the primaries?
No.
The primaries, I believe, are in March for Democrats and Republicans. We don't have
Okay,
primaries.
that's right. Greens don't get on. Okay, that's because I was getting it confused with Butch Ware's campaign because he's trying to make the ballot for the primaries, right?
Yeah. Every state is different. And
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute.
we're not established in Illinois. So the established parties, which are only Democrats and Republicans, they get to start gathering signatures for their primary in like October, November of last year. And then I was just looking at this the other day. Like, our petitioning period starts February 25th, and their primary is March 17th. So anybody that gets, sidelined by the Democrats, because they're very good at it. They convince progressive minded people to run, like, oh, just go ahead and run. And then they take their money and they take their connections once they lose the primary. But there's from February 25th to March 17th. So that doesn't even leave them an option to run independently or in a third party, because they would lose almost a month right out of the gate. It just
Oh
dawned on me
my.
just yesterday. I'm like, that's why they do it that way. Plus they get to go first. So then you're always Johnny come lately.
So and this is not going to happen. So let's just say you happen to fall short by 2 signatures. Is there a write-in option?
There is, but that's unacceptable in my opinion.
I understand.
What we will do is hire lawyers and sue them.
That's what I wanted to hear because I get so tired. Well, write it. And I wrote in my vote proudly because I was like, no way, I'm not. You can't make me. I don't care. I don't care if she's black. I don't care if she went to hell. I don't care. You're not going to convince me, blah, blah, blah. That was me. But it's hard to convince people. And some people, please don't take this offensively. They can't spell. Because Indiana, you got to spell that exactly the way they legally spell, or the
Right.
whole thing gets thrown. I mean,
Right.
if you don't dot that I or cross that T, it's gone. But I want to talk about back on this thing for volunteers because I'm assuming
Can
this
I
is
just
what,
add one more little thing that Scott
sure.
Free, the chair of our party, likes to say concerning the Democratic Party and the Kamala Harris presidency, that the Democratic Party chose genocide in Trump over no genocide and no Trump.
Absolutely. But she'll go on her little book tour and say, "Oh, I'm not the president," and you're sitting here enabling it. You started it. Like,
I just think that another thing to add for what you said to get people to like wake up to realize is when I mentioned about questioning, is they need to look back at the campaign with Trump and Kamala and realize and just really pay attention. They were both mirroring each other. Both were yelling,
exactly.
who loves Israel more? But no one was saying who loves the American people more. And the fact that for in order for someone to be president in the United States, one has to pledge allegiance to Israel. For me, I consider that treason. There should be no reason why our president needs to be pledging allegiance to a foreign apartheid state. None whatsoever.
Exactly. And just so you all know, so I can be transparent, I just signed up to be a petition gatherer. So I did that while the ladies were talking to me. So they'll be getting in contact with me, I'm assuming, um, to let me know what it is I need to do. And what I want to talk about next, and I'm a little bit rusty, which is why I'm all over the place, but I'm really trying to get my thoughts like squared away. So when is the election for governor? Is it November
I
the
believe it's the
what one in
third.
November?
I
The
think it's
It's
November
third
December
or
the third.
2nd or 3rd.
Yeah, I believe
yeah,
it's
the
the
second
third.
or third. So it's the same okay, so you all don't elect your governor during the presidential. You're the opposite of us because we go when the president go. Okay, so you all are the opposite.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
it's it's with the midterms. And if we get when we get on the ballot, no if, when we get on the ballot and Griselda gets 5% or more of the vote, we will become an established party, which means we will have the same signature requirements as the Democrats and Republicans for 4
which is probably
years, which
less.
sets us up for 2028 and 2030.
Which I plan on
Okay.
changing that as well. I don't think that
Sorry.
it should be that way at all for future independent or third parties. That needs to change so that that way everyone has the opportunity to actually run. It needs to be fair.
Now, are you talking about just declare your candidacy and you're on the ballot? Or are you talking about paying a fee and then you get on the ballot?
It's only
Oh,
signatures.
yeah, it's there's no
Yeah, are you talking about getting rid of the signatures? I don't know where you're headed at, and so I would just like to kind of get an idea of that.
yeah, I don't there's it's only signatures. There's not a fee, but it's more like what I'm saying is the numbers of signatures that's needed to make it equal across the board for all
Because I
parties.
think Louisiana has a fee. I'm almost certain they have a fee. Anybody that lives in the state of Louisiana, tell me if I'm wrong. I think they have a fee that you pay. It's like $250 and you're just on the ballot. Or you have to get so many signatures. It's a either or. And I think I
I
want to
would
say
oh
go ahead, Edie.
oh I would say I just want equality. I want to be have the same rules as the Democrats and Republicans do. If they have to get 5,000 signatures, then we have to get 5,000 signatures. If they have to get 0 signatures, we have to get 0 signatures.
Well, they're
And I
so
hope
busy in court suing people that this idea of democracy. He's taking away democracy. First of all, we don't have a democracy because if we did, Jill Stein wouldn't have had to get 25,000 signatures in the state of Illinois to be on the ballot. She would just be on the ballot,
mm-hmm.
or
Exactly.
her signature gathering would be less.
And I
Yeah,
think,
actually ours should be less. I'm sorry,
yeah,
Priscilla.
no, go ahead, it's fine. I really think that these barriers that they try to place on third parties and independents really just speaks volumes to how threatened they are. And you know, not to, and this is not necessarily to hit below the belt, but just like it's just making sense. It just tells me like, do you guys not believe you guys are competent enough to actually win the people, right? Do you not have what you can? Do you not have the ability to offer the people to meet their needs, that you have to do something like this to stifle third and independent parties? But because it's not that you don't have the ability to offer, it's because when it comes to Democrats and Republican, they are operating under a system which is capitalism. Capitalism requires, and um, there's no equality when it comes to economics. when it comes to the public whatsoever. In order for them to be wealthy at the top, someone else at the bottom has to have a whole lot less. So that's why they're not going to, and that's why we are a threat to them. We are everything they claim to be. And so that's why they fight so hard and they try to stifle third parties and the Green Party, third parties and independents, right? So it's not that they can't offer these things, the same thing that we offer. It's just they don't want to because it does not benefit them. Their goal is to stay at the top. This is a hierarchy for them versus wanting equity and equality across the board for everyone so that everyone can thrive and live happy. But because they're in service to themselves, they're going to do stuff like this and cause a barrier for third parties and independents. So it's not that they can't offer this, it's just that they won't and they don't want to.
Exactly. And I appreciate hitting below the belt. Somebody was like, well, when they go low, we go high. No, when they go low, I can hit the floor. I don't I don't care. You want to go low? I'll meet you right there. I will meet you. I try to live for the Lord and everything, but sometimes I'm like, you're gonna have to forgive me because I'm gonna hit. Yes, below the belt, take all the shots you want, especially when they are true. Um, will there be a debate? Like, well, because some say, like, we had just one debate and it was so terrible. It was Brom and whatever that lady was that was trying to be a governor, like we would ever let a woman be governor in our state. We only had like one and it was in like Fort Wayne and nobody watched it. Is there a debate in Illinois that's going to happen for the governor and lieutenant governor candidates?
I mean, I don't know. I hopefully there may be one. Is just the issue is that Democrats have the tendency of not allowing any type of time on national TV for the Green Party, as we've seen with Jill Stein and Butch Moore. Um, I'm telling you, it's because we're a threat, right? And so they won't allow any kind of screen time with them. And I don't know if you've noticed that no Democrat or Republican has ever sat on national television in front of a third party independent and actually had held a debate or a conversation just between the two and a moderator. Has not been seen, and they won't do it. I don't think they won't last. There's a reason why they won't do it. And there's a reason why they won't allow third parties or independents to be on a national stage, right? Because we speak differently than they do. We speak truth and we question everything, which is going to cause people to wake up, and they don't want people to wake up. They don't want that. They're not going to offer what we offer. That's the problem. They're not going to offer because they don't want to. So they don't want other people to hear what can be offered and what can be done, what is possible. What we offer is not impossible. It is possible. It's just people have to be made aware of that. But they keep being blindsided by the Democrats. And that's why I tell people to wake up and start questioning everything. We can have all these things. It's not that we can't. We can. The question is why they don't want us to have it.
Exactly. And that's why I do this type of show. Because I believe one, the two party system was really it's the uniparty. The uniparty system has not worked. It's been what, 250 years. If it didn't work then and it's not working now, it's not gonna work in the future. It's time to saddle it up, strip it out, put it down because it's not working. It's not working for you that someone like me has to figure out, okay, I have to find two jobs. Two jobs are for two people. Two jobs are for two people. One person should not have to be working two and three jobs. I worked three jobs at one point. And let me tell you something, that should not exist in the supposed richest country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I want to be a billionaire? Well, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I do. Because I would be one of the good ones. I would be one because I would just give away all the money. That's what I would do. But I don't want to be poor.
Billionaire
I
for
don't want
a
to. Yes, I don't want to be like, oh, I got to pick between my insulin and my pills and my mortgage and my mortgage. I don't want to have to be doing that juggling. That most Americans I know we're struggling. And
Yeah.
it seems to me there's no control of the billionaire class.
Mhm.
How would you in your state bring that into, like, you probably need to be paying more taxes than you're paying now. You probably need, what is it specifically that you would be doing? One, to make, those who have much pay much. And second, because I think economics is that's the that's something everybody can understand when you don't have money in your pocket. How would you go about increasing the economics of regular Illinoisans? Are you guys Illinoisans? Because I know we're Hoosiers. I'm
Yeah.
like that. That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great question. I definitely would love to work with experts on this when it comes to trying to reform the economy here in the state of Illinois. I know Illinois has a very bad rap, especially with corruption. I know a lot of people would also mention we got to tax the rich. But here's the thing: like we can tax the rich, but I'm also looking to other programs that other systems, right, that lean more into socialism, right? How do we funnel the money that's being brought in to go back into the communities, right? The money that's being paid for, if it's taxes, how do we funnel that back in into those services? That way, everything stays in within the state, everything stays in here, right? Just to support everyone so that we can have these services like Medicare for all, so that everyone can afford housing, right? So, I mean, I get taxing the rich, but I don't think that that's the only thing that we should stop at. I want to see how we can look at reforming the entire system where the money that comes in stays in, right? Um,
Exactly. That's true.
the money that comes in stays in so it can support all residents, not just a few, but all residents, right? So that everyone is has the ability to thrive. That's my belief, that there should be no reason why anybody should be homeless in their own home. And when I say their own home, I mean this is our planet, right? The fact that we even have to pay for water and such is ridiculous to me, but this is where we are. So it's going to be a long time coming before can get to a place where we don't have to necessarily pay for our basic needs. But the idea is, how do we reform this, right? So I will be looking and investing into other systems. Not only that, I don't think much in the United States may have it, but even in other countries, I'm willing to look at what has worked for them, right? Because I do believe collectivism is a system that definitely supports an entire community where they can be sustainable and support the planet as well and the environment, right? We can have resources that everyone has access to. There should be no reason why anybody should be without, anybody should be struggling, or anybody should be homeless or not be able to afford healthcare. There should be no reason for that. Like I said, all of these issues can be resolved. It cannot be resolved under capitalism because capitalism was not meant for the community. It was not meant for the public. It's meant for those at the top, for the wealth, for the small number of people, for the few. That's why they're wealthy. That's why we have billionaires. That's why we have trillionaires. That's why they exist. It's because of the system itself. So that system has to go. It does not work and it harms the planet at the same time. So we need to look at a different system that works for everyone, that address all needs, where there can be true equity and equality. Again, when it comes to the economy, making sure that the money that comes in stays in to support these different programs to help everyone, but also I want to, my vision is to also help build families up, right? Keep the families together, but build them up to the point where they're not all so dependent on the system itself, but communities depending on each other in order to thrive, right? So they don't have to always look at the government for a need because they don't have that need anymore because it's already being met, right? Because of the new structure that's being in place. So it's going to take more work into that, but definitely it's something I'm looking to invest into in order to reform this system for sure, because I think that everyone deserves a better quality of life. Everyone does.
Absolutely. Last question. I can't believe how time just flies by. The last question, this is for both of you. Name three things that your campaign is in need of today. Like right now, if you were to name three things that your campaign needs today, what would they be?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Either one of you
Volunteers,
can go.
volunteers, volunteers, volunteers. um, and people to collect signatures and help on spreading the message. Like share Griselda's website. And if you've been on her social media, we have a campaign manager, which is a friend of mine. He's been fantastic. He has been sharing stuff like crazy. She's got a ton of stuff out there on the socials. Remind everybody what they are. But I would say volunteers, and if you're not here, you can donate and share on social media. That's free.
I agree with Edie. Definitely more people that want to volunteer within the campaign itself as well, right? To boost it, to support us as well, right? I know, like you said, we do have a manager that's helping with like the social media part of it. But if there's other people that want to support us with our presence or anything like that, of that sort, if they have that expertise and have the time and willing to do so, by all means, join us. I think you did share the website there where you can find more information. It'd be great to have more volunteers for petitioning as well, and uh, basically just getting the word out too, and just supporting us.
And we got a comment in
Alexandra.
from, okay, so you all are familiar with this person because okay. Um, thank you for
Alexandria is
Zoom.
running District 10 for U.S. House in Illinois against Brad Schneider, which is a Zionist.
And Alexandra, she will also be at the Medicare for All Forum on February 22nd as well. You can find her there too.
And I said that was the last question, but I lied. How do people besides going to those websites, how do people connect to your social media?
I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So they can follow me at Griselda for Illinois, Griselda Romero. And I think Access Well that we have one too. So they can find me on either of those platforms, or they can go on my website, where is GriseldaForIllinois.com, and then there's a part where it says connect, and they'll see what social media pages I have, so they can click on it and I'll take them directly to it.
Edie, are you on social media?
Yes, under my name, EYDEARNDELL, Eyde Arndell. And I also run the Green live stream with Scott Free. So if you go to YouTube or Facebook, mostly we have YouTube, just look up the Green live stream. So we do 2 shows a week. We do Wednesday night, we have a guest. Griselda's been on there. We've had Alexandria on there, several people, and people from all across the country have been on there. And Saturday at noon Central, so I'm talking Central Time, so I guess that will be 1 o'clock your time, we do News of the Week. So we just kind of report on all the craziness that's going on, and then try to, give you some action items to help you get through it.
Everybody, oh my little, that beep beep is my insulin pump. Hold on, this. Oh, I'm low. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up because I'm a little low. I did not realize I was low. Sorry about that. But I am so glad to be back. I had just given up. I was just like, I'm tired. I can't anymore. And this program, really, I want to bring this back full-fledged, no stop. Um, I'm a little rusty, so I apologize for that, but I will be better next week. I definitely will be better next week. I've had a month off, and you can tell because I just got really used to that no podcast, but I'm back. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to get back in this thing. We can't win unless we fight. So this is a plea to all of those third-party candidates across the country. If you are running for governor, city council, firefighter chief, I don't care what it is. After this show, put your name in the comments. My email, I'm not going to type it because again, I'm lazy, but it's Tracy M. Carson74 at gmail.com. Hit me up and we'll make it happen. We've got to bring the one bird, two wing party down. It's all hands on deck. So I am going to play the outro. Thank you all for joining me. I'm
Thank
so
you.
happy to be back. Thank you too.
And thank you for signing up.
Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I don't know how useful I'll be, but I'm going to try my best to do this because I just believe I'm in this thing to win this thing. We have no choice but to fight.
Yes, I truly appreciate your support for signing up. I truly do greatly. Whatever time and commitment you can offer is grand to us for sure. I can definitely say that on behalf of Edie and myself, but I agree with you. We need to unite. If we're going to go against the duopoly, this calls for unity with everyone in the nation. Put our differences aside and unite. That is emphasis.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm going to play the outro. We all three have a Code Pink event to get to here in the next couple of minutes. So, guys, thank you. Share this video. Share, 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 share. Hit that subscribe button. I don't know of any other show that specifically will talk to just any third party candidate except for mine. It may be some out there, let me know. But anyway, again, to the third party candidates, make sure you connect with me. If you guys know of anybody that I'm missing or could interview, let me know. Definitely, I'm going to play the outro. They address my low blood sugar because apparently I'm a little low and shouldn't be, but that is it. So we'll see you next week. I will have a guest next week. And like I said, I'll be much better. I will see you all next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Have a great one.
You too.
And there won't be an outro because I'm on the free plan, so I can't share my outro, but that's okay. We will talk to you all later. Have a fantastic week.